Guten Tag. Hier ist Herr McCluskey. So today what I wanted to do, I've been noticing a lot of people still having problems with the accusative. And I'm hoping that maybe if you are looking at this activity and we go over it, that we will have some better luck with the accusative, and not better luck, but more success with the accusative. So the first thing I do want you to keep in mind, though, is that I know that after a while you may lose certain words or forget certain words. But if that happens, especially with something like this, like the accusative, if you don't understand or remember what sucht means, or liebt means, or Motorrad, whatever it may be, look up those words, because if you don't know what these words mean, you're just going to be guessing as to what the subject is or what the accusative, the direct object is, okay? So take your time with these when we're doing them. But let's take a look. So in this first activity, I wanted you to highlight what the accusative was. Now remember, the accusative is our direct object. So if we're looking at sentence 1, Die Brille sucht den Opa. So that sentence means the glasses search for the grandpa, which doesn't make any sense. But we're going to fix that in the next activity. But if we're looking at this, what in this case is doing the searching? Die Brille is, the glasses are. And what are they looking for? The grandpa. So you would highlight den Opa, okay? Because that is our direct object. It's what is being searched for. And then if we look in the next sentence, der Computer repariert den Vater. So if you are unsure, that means the computer repairs the father. Doesn't make sense, right? Again, we'll deal with it later. But what we're looking for is, so think about the verb, right? Repairing. So who is doing the repairing? Who or what is doing the repairing? That's der Computer. And what is being repaired? The father. So that is our accusative. So we're going to highlight that. All right. Then if we look at sentence 3, we find our verb, right? And that's what we want to do. So machen, to do. What's being done? Or, excuse me, who is doing, or who or what is doing? Die Hausaufgabe, the homework. And what is the homework doing? Den Schüler, right? So we're going to highlight that. Now, das Motorrad liebt die Lehrerin. So the motorcycle loves the teacher. Again, doesn't make much sense, but if we find the verb, liebt, to love, who or what is doing the loving? The motorcycle. And then what is the motorcycle loving? The teacher. So we're going to highlight die Lehrerin. All right. Then Nummer 5. Der Dialog findet den Schüler langweilig. So the dialogue finds the student boring. So we think who or what finds? The dialogue finds. And what does the dialogue find boring? The student. So we're going to highlight den Schüler. And we see our form of the has been changed because it was der Schüler, but it changes to den. Then we have das Heft kauft die Mutter. So we find, so das Heft kauft die Mutter, the notebook buys the mother. Again, it's a little backwards, but if we find the verb, kaufen, to buy, what is doing the buying? Das Heft is. And what is the notebook buying? Die Mutter. And that's going to be our accusative. Now, these next two were ones that a lot of people had trouble with. So, der Knochen sieht Plato. So, the bone sees Plato. Now, if we think about it, to see who or what is doing the seeing here, right? It's going to be der Knochen. And what does the bone see? Plato, right? Now, even though this doesn't have a form of the, it can still be a direct object, just like I see Billy, Billy can still be seen even though it doesn't have a form of the. So Plato is our accusative here. A lot of people were saying that it was der Knochen, but the bone is the subject because the bone is seeing. Okay? Then if we have der Text findet Nadia schön, if we have the verb finds, the text finds, and who does the text find beautiful? Nadia. And again, it's a person's name, and that person can be a direct object as well. So, we have noticed that none of the sentences really make any sense. They're all a little backwards. So we found the accusative, and you'll notice that we have to flip-flop our sentences. So I did the first one for you. So, die Brille sucht den Opa. So we got to flip that, but now that Opa is going to be the subject because the grandpa is going to be looking for the glasses, you'll notice it changes to der Opa. That's one thing that a lot of people were not switching. So we say M is for masculine and that's der, F is for feminine and that's die, N is for neuter and that's das, and PL is for plural and that's D as our forms of the or our genders. And those can change in the accusative, but that's only the masculine. So only the masculine, der, becomes den when it's the direct object or the accusative, okay? But when it's not anymore, we flip it back, okay? So if we look at number 2, der Computer repariert den Vater. So instead of that, we want to say the father repairs the computer. So we got to make der Vater repariert. And then now, so we had der Vater repariert den Computer. Okay? So we flipped it around. The father repairs the computer. So now that's not den, so that's not den anymore, and that is not der anymore because their roles switched in the sentence. The father's repairing the computer now. All right, so die Hausaufgabe macht den Schüler. Again, we want to say the student does the homework. So now instead of den Schüler, we're going to say der Schüler does, and then die Hausaufgaben. Okay, so we have der Schüler macht die Hausaufgabe. So the student does the homework assignment. And remember, you'll notice here that den, that den is der again because the student is the one doing the homework. It's our subject. Then, Nummer 4, number 4, das Motorrad liebt die Lehrerin. So we want to say the teacher. So die, as in die Lehrerin, is not going to change at all because it is not masculine. It's not der or den. So even though now we're switching its role in the sentence to subject, we don't have to change anything about that. And das, again, because it's neuter, we also don't have to change the form of the, even though now it's the direct object because the teacher loves what? The motorcycle. Okay? Then we want to say now, this time around, the student finds the dialogue boring. So we got to flip our subject and our direct object. So instead of den Schüler, now because the student finds it, we're switching it back to der. Okay? The same conjugation though for the verb, but now the student finds what boring? It's going to be now den Dialog because that's what he finds boring. Now, so the dialogue in this sentence that we fixed is the direct object. Then we want to say now in number 6, the mother buys the notebook. So D, is that going to change at all? when we make it a subject, nope, it's going to look the same. And what does she buy? Das Heft. And because it's the accusative, but it is neuter, we don't have to change it at all, because only the masculine gets changed in the accusative. Now, we want to flip this around for number 7, Nummer 7, and say that Plato sees the bone. So, we want to make Plato our subject, okay, and he sees, and what does he see? The bone, right? But because it's der Knochen, it's masculine. Now, because it's our direct object, it's changing. Okay? Because Plato sees, what does he see? The bone. So that bone is receiving the action. It's receiving the sight. Okay? And because it's masculine, we have to make the change from der to den. So, in number 8, we want to say Nadia finds the text pretty, right? So we're going to make Nadia our subject, and she finds it. Nadia findet. Now, because it's der Text, it's masculine, and we're making it the direct object, because Nadia finds the text beautiful, we're going to have to change that der to den. Nadia findet den Text schön. Okay, so I hope that helped explain this activity a little more. And when you do other activities like this, just keep in mind what role is your noun or your person playing in the sentence. If it's the direct object, and if that object is masculine, like der Computer, der Dialog, der Knochen, der Text, that may change, or it will change to den if it is the direct object. Okay? Please email me again if you have any other questions or if you're still not understanding this. Other than that, auf Wiedersehen.